Welcome back to the Pointless Watch Studio. Today, back with another vintage watch review. I present Enicar Day Date. This is one of my favorite watches, which I got last year. I bought it used at the flea market and it cost around 100 euros. I thought to myself, I cannot go wrong spending 100 euros on this beauty. And I know you might say, it looks familiar. And you are absolutely right. It looks like Rolex Day Date two-tone. And it's one of my top grail watches which I want. How did I manage to get this watch for this cheap? Every summer I go around flea markets and look for vintage watches. Sometimes I get lucky, sometimes I don't find anything of use. Mostly at the flea market there's Soviet watches like Vostok, Raketa, Komendersky, Poliot, and fake watches, Rolex, Patek, even fake Seikos, which surprised me. Another type of watch you can get are abused and well-worn watches with scratches on crystal, case, maybe ruined dial or non-working movement. So it's hard to find a great piece. And when you find a good shaped piece, they ask unreasonable amount of money. And I dislike when I ask about the watch and they will check if it's written Swiss made, they will increase the price. They really don't care about the watch, but if it's Swiss, then it's gotta be expensive. Sometimes even Swiss quartzes which are abused are selling about 200 euros. I knew about Enicar before buying because of the internet and reading articles, but I haven't seen Enicar watches in my life. I found online few things about this model which were similar but not the same. There's little information about this watch and about this model. And on listing that were posted few years ago, I saw similar watches selling about 250 and 300 euros. I guess I got lucky to get it for 100 euros. It didn't came with the box and papers, but there's no surprise because it's an old vintage watch at the flea market. At the start, I wasn't even looking at the watch because I was checking out other vintage chronographs, which the seller was selling to. But my girlfriend said to me, "Come on and check this watch out, it looks interesting." I was really interested because it was two-tone and I prefer gold or gold plated watches over stainless steel watch. I checked it out and looked great, but the problem I had didn't fit me. The strap was short few links and I asked how much for the watch and he said 100 euros and I won't lower the price. I put down the watch and I was thinking, should I buy it even if it didn't fit me? But then I remembered I bought few years ago a cheap watch from AliExpress which had same Jubilee link bracelet. So I thought a little bit and I bought the watch. I wear this watch from time to time, usually on the formal evening because I try to be cautious. I don't want to break the watch. So little bit about the watch. This watch is like Rolex Day-Date two-tone. The watch has beautiful dial in sunburst gold. The logo is Saturn with a ring and dot is applied like brand logo. Dial looks high quality with small Roman numerals around the dial hour markers. Jubilee strap is comfortable but not the highest quality. On the dial it has matching color date and day window. I guess there's an Easter egg. Each day it has day name and number, but at the day Sunday it doesn't have a number but a tiny Saturn logo. Attention to the detail is amazing. So, little bit about the company Enicar. Well, it started around 1913 to produce watches, and it did until 1987 when they filed bankruptcy, and most likely because of quartz crisis. Then they sold the brand, but nowadays I see they are popular in China and they sell like more to fashion brandish watches, and they cost around 1,200 euros, and in design they're pretty similar to Titoni, which I reviewed a few weeks ago. So my conclusion is this brand is amazing when talking about vintage watches. They have chronographs, automatic mechanical watches, diver watches, dress watches, and watches with unique design. For me, first impression is great. It really didn't disappoint me. Even if it's about 20 or more years old, I went to the watchmaker and asked how the watch is performing, and watchmaker said it's running great, it didn't need service. If you're interested in any car vintage watches, I would say you won't be disappointed. But I cannot compare my single experience to other experiences. Maybe other watches or models are worse than mine. But for the watch I paid, I'm satisfied with the experience. And as always, thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.